Hi, I'm Stephen Frew. This is the second in a podcast series concerning the inner world of the outer athlete. We're looking at, that's been entitled, it's been inspired by Tommy Costello, who is very interested in the inner world that athletes work with as they're working to achieve big goals in the outer world. Tommy asked me to do a presentation to a group of elite athletes, young men, all men, between 17 and 21, roughly. It could have been 16. Um, but that was roughly the age range. And I was delighted to say yes, and I said yes. And if I'm going to talk to young athletes, I turn my hat backwards, so that just for the prop. Um, and I worked hard for maybe 2 weeks, researching a lot of different stuff in psychology and in spiritual work and also in athletic coaching to try to give them something different and unusual that wasn't, a motivational speech or let me tell you how to get along better in the world speech. It wasn't that kind of thing. I wanted to introduce them to secret knowledge, to the inner world. Because when you're that good and that committed to being that excellent in your sport or in your career, a lot goes by the wayside. You miss a lot because you are focused and you're getting a lot. So it's not to say that these young men are, uh, not very knowledgeable about themselves or something like that. It's just that they have really focused and are focusing on how to stretch that shoulder, how to strengthen that leg, how to daily develop a kind of discipline and order in their working out so that their body will not let them down but will serve them under even the most intense conditions. So there's a lot to athletic coaching that I don't understand much of, but I know a little of. And it's really amazing to me to observe it and get to watch it and watch the dedication and the heartedness of these young men as they work to get to a level of excellence where, for example, a college will offer them a scholarship, and maybe in that process in college, maybe even be drafted into the Major League Baseball world. So I was working for several weeks gathering information. I had a lot of information because that's what I do and how I do it. And it got to be Sunday, and I'm doing the presentation on a Monday morning. It's Sunday evening, and I'm looking at all my notes, probably 15, 20 pages of notes, and I'm trying to take notes on my notes and trying to organize it and trying to get, and I'm getting more and more anxious because it's really huge for me to make an impact on these young people that's good for them. Not about me and my success, but about them and about what they want to hear, need to hear, could use, that kind of thing. So I am in. I'm all in, and I'm working hard. And by 10 or 11 o'clock Sunday night, I'm discouraged. I'm flatlined. I'm thinking, I really don't understand what I'm doing here, and this stuff is too academic. This stuff is too, these are 19-year-old guys, they don't want to hear all this, and I'm doing that, doing a lot of self-doubt. Finally, I wrap it up, I put all my stuff over on the table and get ready for bed, take a shower. It's midnight. And as I'm sitting there on my bed, with my feet on the floor, I think, wait a minute. Now these moments come, and we must capture them because they are from the gods, they are from the cosmos, they are from the environment. We get messages, and if we disregard them, we lose them. So the messages that came to me is this. There are two things that these young men need and will face as they develop as athletes. One comes from Carl Jung, the psychologist, two founders of psychology really, Freud and Jung, J-U-N-G. Jung said that from the moment you're born, to the time you leave the planet, your whole job can be summarized in one word: individuation. Individual, individuation. Becoming the person you are meant to be. Your acorn, your oak tree. Becoming that fully and allowing that to happen. So I said to them, that's the first thing. That as you leave childhood, you enter adolescence. As you enter adolescence, you have a whole lot of questions. And the questions are largely about, who am I? What am I going to do? How do I show up? And so forth. And that's natural and helpful, but it's also notoriously a period of great stress on young men and women to leave the entourage of their childhood and all the coaching and all the teaching and all the values and all the beliefs. All of that stuff from childhood is up for grabs, and you get to look at it again as you morph into the young adult that you are. And that is a core value in athletics, because if you don't know who you are, your coaching is not going to have a place to land. And you're not going to be able to interact and dialogue with your coaches in a way that maximizes the use of that instrument and makes you be the best possible you that you can be. That's one thing, individuation. And it'll include saying no to your entourage, no to your past teachers, parents, friends, siblings, whoever they are. There'll be a lot of, no, that's not me. Yes, this is me. There'll be a lot of that in individuation. And there'll also be a lot of, gee, I always thought I wanted to play football, but now I find myself attracted to baseball. I really like baseball. Well, I thought you were a football player. Well, I was, but I'm not now. As your body grows, your mind grows, as everything grows and expands and develops and new experiences flood in, you're working with becoming truly the who you are person that you are. Second thing, tribe. When you're doing that, what I call the entourage, all those people of your childhood, in a sense, don't misunderstand me here, I'm not being that radical, but in a sense you have to say goodbye to all of them. You have to leave your family in order to love your family. That means you have to be able to say, that's not me, this is me. And I love you just the way I am. But don't call that my love. This is my love. This way of loving you. My anger, or my passion, or my energy, or my leaving. That's by loving. So you have to be able to redefine the who you are. And that takes tribe. It takes people you trust. And that may not be the people in your entourage. It probably isn't. You're meeting new people and you're getting to develop relationships of dialogue and encounter that help you to define that individuality. So we're going to go on from there in our next podcast and talk a little bit about how that works. Thanks for listening. This is Stephen Frew.